in nobis tuis, propterea benedixite Deus in eterno The Lord be with you.
With your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke.
Glory to you, O Lord.
When Jesus had come to the end of all he wanted the people to hear, he went to Capernaum. The centurion there had a servant, a favorite of his, who was sick and near death. Having heard about Jesus, he sent some Jewish elders to him to ask him to come and heal his servant. When they came to Jesus, they pleaded earnestly with him. He deserves this of you, they said, because he is friendly towards our people. In fact, he is the one who built the synagogue. So Jesus went with them and was not far from the house when the centurion sent word to him by some friends. Sir, he said, do not put yourself to trouble, because I am not worthy to have you under my roof. And for this same reason I did not presume to come to you myself. But give the word, and let my servant be cured. For I am under authority myself, and have soldiers under me. And I say to one man, go, and he goes. To another, come here, and he comes. To my servant, do this, and he does it. When Jesus heard these words, he was astonished at him, and turning round, said to the crowd following him, I tell you, not even in Israel have I found faith like this. And when the messengers got back to the house, they found the servant in perfect health. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
The words of the centurion have crept into our liturgy and are still with us to this day. When we look at the sacred host before receiving it, we repeat this prayer of the centurion, for he is coming to us and receiving hospitality under our roof, and we ask that he will utter that word that will cleanse us and make us whole, so that he will find consolation and not pain in coming to a tranquil breast. It is a prayer that can obtain forgiveness if we say it with all our heart. For what is that healing but healing of the soul at that point? And what is that but forgiveness and the state of grace we need? The first reading also brings us into the liturgical ambit, for although it is very embryonic and primitive, it is nevertheless the same supper of the Lord that is being celebrated. And we can see how it takes a while to take form, for here in the very early stages there seems to be quite a lot of spontaneity, which is leading to trouble. And St. Paul does insist that the Lord is a Lord of concord, not discord. This, in our time, could be a discord perhaps more interior than exterior. We might have people not on speaking terms within the same Eucharistic assembly. We also might have elements of bitterness in the very act of celebrating. It might be that one obtains that order, but with a disorder in the way it's done, hurting altar boys or whoever it might be, so as to get things right. The house of the Lord must be inhabited by the Spirit of the Lord, and that Spirit is one of charity. So all that we do in the liturgy is an expression of love. There should be no sharp edges in a liturgical life. Sometimes the correction can be more serious than the fault, out of proportion, but the object has been lost out of view. Also, celebrants who are difficult to please can not be at times a helpful expression of that love. There are other faults that creep in as well, modern forms of what might be happening in the assembly of the Corinthians in those early times. People who use the liturgy to obtain glory indirectly, who lack attention. The liturgy is a locus of encounter with the Blessed Trinity, but humans are involved. So God must be honoured, and it's for Him, but we heal each other in doing it well and creating beauty which honours God and comforts each other. So good liturgy draws, good liturgy heals. Bad liturgy leaves us in pain, frustrated, complaining inwardly. God deserves the best, and so in a sense do we. Why should we leave each other and the Lord short-changed in church? We are actually doing the work of angels and in their name, and they want us to do it well. In the liturgy there is a reference in the instructions given to us to the holy names of Jesus and Mary. And still in the liturgical prayers, when the celebrant uses those names, he does still, according to the rubric still in there, make a slight inclination of the head. That has been kept, interestingly. Another one, if I remember rightly, which has been kept is that of the saint of the day. And there is a reason for it in the case of the holy names of Jesus and Mary. It's the fact that we are making reparation for the abuse of the same. In the big books that we had at Selignac, the choir books, every time that those names came in, they were in capital letters, and there was the inclination of the head. It is something that we can claim, for these holy names are abused all the time, especially in some cultures. There's no need for it. We think that we are greater than heaven, greater than our judge. It seems to be manly to do it. Well, a man is truly manly when he's on his knees. This element of wanting to be cool, wanting to be virile, is actually very human. And it's an indication that we've lost completely the notion of the divine. And if that's the way that we treat our God, how can we expect that we will be treated with honour ourselves one day? Treat the Lord both in liturgy and in our speech as we would have Him treat us. He actually does have the last word. Just never forget that. Ave Maria, gratia plena, Dominus tecum, benedicta tu in mulieribus, et benedictus fructus ventris tui, Iesus. Sancta Maria, Mater Dei, ora pro nobis peccatoribus, nunc et in hora